Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Classroom Yaps. Today, I want to talk about how I've been going to gas stations for my morning coffee. And one of the reasons I started doing that is because my parents are actually big fans of going to the gas station for coffee. And me as a millennial, I was raised on going to Starbucks for your coffee. I thought, hey, you know what? If I'm going to buy a coffee in the daytime, I'm going to Starbucks, right? And as you start commuting and as you start your career, you realize going to Starbucks is not always the most ideal situation, especially at 7 o'clock in the morning when most other people are also going to Starbucks. Oftentimes, you're waiting up to 10 minutes just to get through the drive through or having to get off and wait that 5 to 10 minutes inside the store. So, you really have to allot for that time throughout your morning commute. And I don't know. I think it was about a year and a half ago where I just decided that going to the gas station was probably going to be the better option. And I'm finding that it really is. It's a lot cheaper, it's a lot faster, and the overall experience is just a lot more convenient. Where we've seen Starbucks, closing down stores, and, not so much that there's not really a selection or an availability because Starbucks is still everywhere, even though they're closing down stores. Um, it is sort of it's a thing where, there is a gas station on almost every corner of your town. And, sometimes you have to run an errand in the morning and you don't have the opportunity to stop at your normal gas station. Well, there's a gas station across the street from where you're going. Um, so, not only that, most gas stations, as it seems to me, have the machine that will grind the beans, at your selection and spit the coffee right into your cup. It it's very convenient, and I've had very, very, very consistent cups of coffee over the past year and a half since I've started going to the gas station. More so than when I go to Starbucks on my day off when I have a coffee date with my wife and we try out a new place, or we go to Starbucks. It's often not the most consistent, brew that you're going to get. Sometimes you go to Starbucks and you know this, right? You go to Starbucks, you order the cup of coffee you got the last time, which was delicious, and they have a new person, they have a new barista back there, that just doesn't quite know the whole routine, and they don't get the drink right. So that's something that, at least for a morning coffee, just hot coffee, maybe hazelnut, maybe vanilla, maybe a house blend. You know what? Consistency is the key. And it goes to the idea of like In and Out, right? There's a lot of people that will say, well, In and Out is overrated. And I get the thinking there, I understand the logic there. But when it comes to In and Out for me, I know that when I go to In and Out, 9 times out of 10, the burger I order is going to be as good as the burger I ordered the last time, and the time before that, and the time before that. In and Out is the consistency of a good burger if you enjoy that taste, right? And even if you don't enjoy it, you're still going to get a good burger. It is not going to be, well, I had a good burger back in, 2015. Um, Hopefully they can make something delicious again here in 2026. No, they have been making good burgers every day, all day for decades now. So when it comes to, a cup of coffee, I am looking for that experience as well. Chick-fil-A is very similar to that experience, right? You go to Chick-fil-A, if I order a spicy chicken sandwich, I'm going to get a spicy chicken sandwich that is very close to the ones that I've always ordered, as well as the waffle fries, as well as the whole experience of ordering that. And it's very difficult to get that experience at a Starbucks. It is not always consistent. So I have found that gas station coffees are the most consistent when it comes to just a regular cup of coffee. That coffee right now tastes like the coffee I had yesterday. And it's hard for the millennial brain, me being a millennial, it's hard for the millennial brain to grasp onto that. Like, why would I spend, $2.79 or $2.99 as it's gone up a little bit with inflation. But why would I spend $2.99 on a cup of coffee when I could spend, $3.50 to $4 or even $4.50? I'm not really sure what Starbucks is costing these days, but I can almost guarantee you it is close to double of what you're going to get at the gas station. So just that experience alone and having the consistency is awesome, and the price you cannot beat, because the price alone is going to drive me to the gas station every morning. Now, when it comes to the personal experience, this is where I'm going to get a lot of people who maybe call BS on what I'm saying. However, in my experience of going to the gas station for coffee for the last year and a half, I've had a more pleasant experience, in-person experience. Not to mention the wait, which is its own thing unto itself. But going to the gas station, every time I've walked in, I've been greeted with a hello. And yeah, there's some Starbucks that are very friendly. However, you can definitely tell you have somebody that just started working, um, that just entered the workforce, right? And maybe they don't have those personal skills. When I've gone to the gas station, the Circle K that I typically go to, I'm always greeted with a hello. And this is when I sometimes don't want to be greeted with a hello, or I personally don't want to say hello back. But just that friendliness will bring me out of my shell a little bit, wake me up in the morning because I haven't had my coffee yet, and get me to say hello, just to be a little bit more friendly and a little bit more affable. I've also had more small talk moments with a lot of people that are waiting by the coffee machine as well. It's not an everyday thing. It's not something that all of a sudden, hey, it's sunshine and rainbows inside of this gas station where, there's a homeless dude wandering around. No, I mean, there's a lot of people that you would consider to be a little sketchy. However, when you go inside, there's a lot of people who are also going to work, who are also in the middle of their commute. And I've had conversations with these people. Um, More than I've ever had a conversation at Starbucks. People are typically doing their own thing at Starbucks, which is great. It's awesome. People are, typing up on a computer or talking to, a friend or a loved one. And you're not really going to have just a small moment with people in your community at a Starbucks. I've never had it happen. Now, with the barista or, somebody that works there, absolutely. They're maybe paid to be a little bit more friendly. However, when it comes to people in your community, I've had those small talk conversations, those small talk moments with people at the gas station. And again, it's not an everyday thing, right? Sometimes these are just things we're talking about the Dodger game. Sometimes we're talking about, life stuff. And it's like 2 minutes. We're both out the door, and we're going about our day. But it's more memorable than I've ever had at a coffee shop. So with that whole thing, right? With that whole thing, with the fact that you're only paying about $3 for a cup of coffee, with the fact that you're having a better personal experience, the biggest thing that I think is the time. The fact that I can pull into any gas station and be out within 2 minutes. And as I was saying in the beginning of this video, it is invaluable at this time to wait less. Drive-throughs since the pandemic have become the main way most people buy food and buy drinks. So, when it comes to Dutch Brothers, I see a line of maybe 6 people at Dutch Brothers, and I would think, okay, well, this line is not going to take very long. I've waited up to an hour stuck in line because I couldn't get out. Well, because I'd already had my drink order in, but I couldn't get out of line. The line was taking a really long time, and it took me around an hour just to get out of that line. Now, that is something that has never happened to me at a gas station. I go into a gas station and maybe tops, I am waiting 3 to 5 minutes to pay. But while I'm waiting in line because somebody just doesn't have the right amount of change, I have a cup of coffee in my hand. I'm at least drinking my coffee. Um, I've forgotten my wallet before, and I've the people there, I'm sure I've held up the line as well, and the people behind me only had to wait about 2 minutes for me to go run to my car and get my wallet. So everybody there is only going to be in line for about 2 to 5 minutes tops. if you have self checkout at some of these gas stations, you're probably getting out within a few seconds and you're on the road again. So it's just an invaluable experience. I think that a lot of millennials are maybe waking up to this fact. I think that I've certainly woken up to this fact in the last year and a half. And I'm just enjoying that part of my commute a lot more. It's that micro transaction that I'm able to get every morning, and it fires up the dopamine in my brain. And, it just gives me that little bit of a boost that not even the coffee can really give me, right? Because I most certainly am not going to go to Starbucks every day of my life, but I may go to the gas station every day of my commute and have a cup of coffee. So, if you've made it this far into my video of me ranting about gas station coffee, I most certainly appreciate it, and I would appreciate it if you liked, commented, and subscribed. Thank you so much for watching Classroom Yaps, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.